enjoy the video? Did you learn anything? Okay. So yesterday we started this program with, motivating people to be entrepreneurs and telling them why they need to be entrepreneurs and the importance of entrepreneurship. And that's what we continue this morning.
So before we proceed this program, let us do the needful. National anthem. Please let us rise. One, two, three. Arise, O compassion, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our Father's land, with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve without our mind, one nation body, freedom, peace and unity. Let us clap for Nigeria. Let us sit down. My presentation this morning will give us the key areas, how we can source for funds, how we can manage funds, how we can manage people, how we can manage our materials, and at the same time, some risk inherent in business, how we can look at it, how we can solve it, how we can take a kind of SWOT analysis to analyze our activities and see how we can find remedies to it. Give insight into the bookkeeping practices of SMEs. These variables affect firms' approach to bookkeeping practices. In particular, the type of books maintained to provide relevant financial information. One major variable affecting the types of books kept by SMEs is the size of the firm. The size of the firm is determined by the numbers of employees in the firm. We have a micro firm whereby you have 1 to 6 people. They mostly keep 1 to 3 books for record transaction. We have smaller firms whereby they have workers of 11 to 30. They mostly keep 3 to 5 books of prime entry. Some of those people who are selling a credit card, they are keeping records. It's only that they may probably not put it in a proper perspective, but they are keeping records. How many credit cards did I buy today? What is the profit margin? How many cards did I sell today? How much have I realized from that sale? I'm going to hit. What is the balance? How much am I going to take to my account? These are the necessary books for you young SMEs. Sales day book. Sales day book will determine your sales for that particular day. Purchases day books. Purchases day book will determine the materials, the stock you purchased for that particular day. As you are noting them down, this is say I made today, this is the stock I bought today. Definitely you are keeping record. You are keeping track of your activities. You must try as much as possible to balance your accounts, so that you will know if I have gained or I have a loss today. Beginning of your business, you have 100,000. You believe that that's your capital, but you have forgotten that there are certain, inherent costs in the course of that, business. You will take a taxi. You will pay for electricity. You will load your phone. These are running expenses in the course of the business. But if you don't make proper arrangement, you will just believe that, I'm making profit, and you are not making profit.
As a young entrepreneur, and my name is Francis, and you've exhausted all the internal sourcing and you want to go for the external sourcing, which of the sourcing would you advise? Because I know about bank loans and their interest. It can be very killing. So which of the external source would you advise one to opt for? Thank you.
Well, if I don't think I need to be specific. Bank loan, you consider interest. If you overdraw your account, they will charge interest. If we invite an angel business, they will use their own network. It's just a matter of a risk. If I allow this angel business to bring money, am I be able to control them? Or do I want to expand my business in such a way that, it will become PLC? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself.
The expectation and why my DG, Mr. Peter Jacke, put this program is to make sure that at least we can take a substantial numbers of a youth corps before they pass out and after passing out, so that at least when they are going, they will be self-reliant. And not only that, it's a kind of a clarion call in line with their national anthem, that we have to wake up from our slumber and make things work in Nigeria. There is no other way than small, medium size enterprise before we can get it right.
Of the core members after the training, they were implored to actually pay attention and be very much into it. They've been given the tools required to be entrepreneurs right now. They are thinking like innovators already from the last couple of days that I've spent with them. So I'll expect that what they take here from all the videos of Steve Jobs, of the TED Talks, of the fish paradigm, they can actually imbibe those cultures and start thinking on how to create job opportunities rather than looking for employment all over the place. Merged technical skills, innovative skills with same thing as soft skills. So they're getting a plethora of tools that will help them enhance their skills and help them become true entrepreneurs. Because nothing is worse than the innovator that has no business sense. Here we're being given the tools on how to go about their business plan, auditing their company records and stuff like that. They're being told these basic essentials to actually create and sustain a business.
Initially, the way businesses used to be done is that you sit down, like I said, give me your idea. And everybody says, no, 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 no. They sit down in their house, they spend years, they spend money, they build this business, they build this product, this technology product. They build it. And they come out with a product that they think is very, very awesome. And they launch it. And nobody comes. So it's beginning to change the way people actually, the methodology for how to actually think of a technology startups and how to start it. So this first slide is saying you have a very, very awesome solution. It's like, maybe you go and build, this database and you feel that everybody needs a database and you come out and they said, oh yes, we love this product, but we've already done this. And what we actually want is somebody to connect all this database and centralize them. You know that is a solution that is is a very good solution. But maybe if you look at the cost benefit and the time to execution, you actually find out that this might be easier to implement. So the methodology for a startup, first of all, is that you start with the problem. You need to define the problem. So it's very, very important when you're thinking of technology and you're thinking of coming up with something and you want to make big money and you want to scale to that level. It's okay if you're thinking, okay, I just want to do this for here. But if you're thinking of, $19 billion, and if you're thinking of disruptive technologies that change the world, you have to have that mindset of how can this is this applicable? Would this cross, if not for anything, let's say, will it be Pan-African? So, like I said, the first thing is understanding the problem. After understanding the problem, defining the solution and making sure the solution answers the problem. There are some problems that... How many of you live in Lagos? Been to Lagos? That's, you know, that's Lekki Expressway to Aja. You know that road? Okay. So there are some problems that your solution does not answer the problem, but you think is a solution. Has anybody been in that situation? Where you have a problem, somebody gives you a solution, but it's not the solution to that problem. Has it ever happened to somebody? You have to make sure that your solution is actually it suits the problem you're trying to solve. You have to do a qualitative validation and a quantitative validation. Qualitative validation is, you know, talk to your friends, make sure that everything works. Then when it starts working and everything, you have to look at the data and know if you're growing.
My name is Adebola Agbaje. I'm a project manager. I work for Paradigm Initiative Nigeria. We're a social enterprise that connects young people with ICT opportunities. Interestingly, your level is one step ahead of the highest level that, you know, we deal with in our organization. But trust me, this is a great platform. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Bumi Okunowo and NITDA for inviting us for giving us a platform at this workshop to introduce you to something that might be very useful, something that you might consider, you know, really helpful, especially in the current economy. The topic I have for us today is innovation through online work. How many people have heard of online work? Not really, right? A few people. Okay, but when you hear of online work, what do you think? Yahoo, right? Oh, exactly. It's no longer that anymore. It was initially before we got exposed to, you know, the internet as such, that we used to think anybody that is online is really doing, fishy things. You'll be wondering. But online work is in different formats, and it depends on one thing, which we will discuss as we take the presentation. It's going to be quite interactive. If you have any questions, you can stop me to ask. Great. Inadequate policy making. Policies, there are policies that are supposed to be on ground, but because somebody has not, you know, done his or her work, we find out that it is affecting every other person, every other thing that is yet to come. You'll be shocked and amazed at many industries, for example, that could have come up, but because there is a loophole somewhere, for some funny reason, there's no conducive environment to ensure that that takes place. The effect, now the thing is, when one person is slacking his or her job, it's a multiplier effect. That's the truth. Because it will affect another thing, and then that thing, it then becomes bigger. It then grows. For example, if you drive a car, and it starts giving you some funny sounds, start making, before you know what's happening, it has affected another part, yes or no? Before you know what's happening, 3 parts, 4 parts. By the time you take it to the mechanic, it is in fact, by that time you'll be spending much more than you could have, you know, at the initial stage when you're supposed to fix that something small. Limited access to finance. I mean, we've discussed that. People have talked about how to access funding and, you know, but the good thing is that in this day and age, the funding opportunities are now becoming more and more. But like I said, information is key. By the time you don't even know where to find out who is giving out money, okay, so which angel investment will be interested in my idea or in my business, or You know, so it's very, very interesting to know that when you actually have information or background knowledge about something, you can actually maximize opportunities as much as you can. Poor infrastructural facilities, power supply, that's actually major.
So he's a P-Square fan. So we're talking about market fit for your product. And we've talked about how you can now start getting some feedback into actually developing your product. And there's a methodology out there that you can use, and it's part of the agile family of methodologies. So how many of you speak Spanish? Can you say lo siento? Okay, look to the person to your left and say lo siento. Look to the person to your right and say lo siento mucho. Lo siento means I'm sorry, because 70% of startups fail because of, just bad planning. And this is why, next slide, please, we're talking about agile. So the person to your right and to your left is more likely to fail if they don't have a plan down. So when they said sorry, they're actually saying sorry that in case you fail. You and NYSC were doing it at the same time, and they employed an agile methodology. They could get that product out faster than you with a 16% higher productivity. And this is all you have to do is put a methodology behind what you're doing. So as I talk, I'm going to be giving you some friends. So I hope you have your pens and your jotters out. So your first friend is google.com. Just in case you don't know, that's google.com. There are a lot of times where someone will come to me with an idea, and no one has done it before, and I Google the idea, and the first 10 results, people are already doing the same thing. Or, there's already market data out there that shows it's a bad market and they shouldn't be coming in. So, which is why, I love Mr. Bubio Okuno when he said, learn fast, fail fast, learn fast, because that's what you have to do. And doing an agile, adding agile into your processes will actually help you fail fast, learn fast, adapt to the market fast, and actually start adding profitability to your solution very quickly. So the Scrum methodology has various benefits. The main one is to your customers and your investors. So this is where I'm now going to tell you about your second friend, www.f6, the letter S.com. So this is a website where you can actually go and find investors, find incubators, find accelerators that will invest in your idea. And if you tell them that you're using Agile or Scrum methodology, they might even say, hey, let's fund you right away. Your third friend is utibeetem.com. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's utibeetem.com. Now, this guy, he goes all around and he finds all these grants like UN, GEF, and he lists them on his website every day. Even today, with the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund, they're actually giving coppers from 500,000 naira to 2 million naira just for coming up with business ideas. And can we give a round of applause for all the ladies in the house today? Because this is, clap for them. Recently, why I say clap is because they're actually giving, they're giving out millions of dollars to female-led entrepreneurship companies, female entrepreneurs. If you're starting a company today, excellent. There are millions of dollars waiting for you. You just go to their website and they'll stone you with money. Some things that you thought were very important now start coming down the list. Things that people out there think are more important start going up on the list. So you work on those features first. So the outcome of your product backlog of each item is called a sprint. Next slide, please. Each sprint is supposed to last 1 to 4 weeks. You don't want to start working on a feature, that's going to take 6 months to build. Because if it takes 6 months to build, by the time you've already built it, guess what? There could be other people that have come into the market and now built what you're building. One thing I like to tell startups at IDEA is there's nothing original under the sun. There's no new idea. So Windows PCs came out at the same time as Macintosh, almost the same time. When Isaac Newton found out, gravity, apple on the head, there was actually someone else at the same time that was also figuring out about gravity. When someone was thinking about coming up with selling gala on the road, there's probably another person thinking about selling gala on the road. So always share your ideas. It doesn't matter if they're a bad idea, if you think it's the best thing in the world and you need to keep it secret, don't keep it secret, because that's the only way you can actually start getting user feedback. And another thing about that, it actually helps you get your product out on people's minds, so they start thinking about it.
Is how do I sell it? How do I market my product? We're doing pretenders because some of you are looking at your hand like, I don't have any product. But I'm just saying that if you have done what you've been told to do and you have a genuine product that you can work with, what then? In customer relationship management, first thing I'll tell you is that your best friend is your phone. If it is a smartphone, even if it's not a smartphone. Your phone. So, in customer relationship management, it's very simple. How do you retain the customers? It is not by force. Why would a client exchange a product that you bought from them? Because you are not satisfied. Because they want to retain you as a customer. So, there are ways we do things, and there are ways that leaders do it. Here are the critical parts of CRM today. Globalization and stiff competition. Globalization and stiff competition. If you had gone to Demo Africa, I went this year, I went last year. The last year one, I remember a woman that's selling Ankara or something. They had it on the. Now they sell Ankara across the world. What makes yours different? What's your value proposition? You must keep evolving. I just told you that my dry cleaner, I walked in there, he said, where have you been? For 6 years. But guess what? Before I left, oh, we've moved on, Mr. Ogunay, don't worry. All we need now is your office and whatever. Guess what? We come, we pick it up, we bring it back to you. That's value proposition. What special thing, because of stiff competition, are you doing differently from other people? Long-term relationships with customers are one of the most important assets of an organization. If somebody buys from you once and they don't buy from you again, they're not your customer. Don't call them that. They're probably your enemies. Because they may not have been satisfied with what they bought from you initially. Some of us are like that. You buy it, oh, I got ripped off. I'm never going there again. They see, oh, hi, yes, stay there. Hi. Never promise more than you can deliver. So don't tell anybody, oh, Oga says, write this report, and you're like, okay, I can do it in 8 hours. Meanwhile, nobody can do it in 16.
Okay, so stay in touch with your customers, have a good line of communication through which you can be reached all the time. Don't run from them. If you run a business anyway, why are you running from customers that want to buy from you? Okay? Proactively get feedback from them. You can ask, how is this affecting your life? What can we improve? It's very, very important. What is the evidence that the service will meet the customer needs? And they said customers will make perceptions based on what they see where the service is being provided. When you went to lunch, if that canopy they put up there, if at the other end of it, there was a trash can that was overspilling with trash, and they said this is where you are going to eat, at least you have a perception about this hotel. It will be different, won't it? I know I wouldn't have eaten there, but I know some of you that are on seafood diet. You just say, okay, I will back the damn thing. Bring the food. Huh? So, thank you all very much. Tomorrow's one is about pure leadership. So please do not miss that. Okay? Thank you very much. And you can go home now. See, I timed it 5 o'clock.
The NITDA NYSC ICT Innovation Workshop is actually a good way to start, in the sense that I, as a project manager, I have been working with tertiary institution students, and I have seen this model work a million times, even better than waiting for the students to actually graduate and join the labor force. And the reason is very simple, because this is a point where people need to reflect and bring out their innate abilities and begin to think about what things they can actually contribute. Like I mentioned earlier on today to the participants at the workshop, youth inclusion consists of the fact that youths do no longer see themselves as objects of youth unemployment, but they see themselves as part of the process of development. With that, they are able to now say, okay, because we are a part of the process of development, then we can build something together, we can do something together, we can contribute to the development of Nigeria.
I think it's a very, very brilliant initiative, because for a while before I started serving, I always wondered what the role of corpers in the country is, actually, the actual role they play. You know, what they add to the country. I know there is on paper, it's meant to be opportunity for youth to come and give to their country, you know, serve their country diligently and show what they can do before they can get exposed into the real world. But it didn't really have a very core, strong foundation in my mind. But being here, you know, experiencing what this initiative has to offer, I am starting to get a clearer understanding of what truly the role of youth, the youth service corps to the youth and also to Nigeria is. And I believe it's such a great idea that requires further drive.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, I actually attended some couple of techie entrepreneurial seminars like this, but yes, this is mind-blowing, and it's really, really good, especially here in the capital. And then it's a good initiative because a lot of students or young minds are coming out. It's just now that few of them are realizing that there is no more space in the market, that they have to find to do something for themselves. If not before now, like 3-4 years ago, everyone is looking for a job or is looking for a connection in the big firm and uncle that can help them. So it's a really good initiative.
Lots of expectations I'm thinking about. One of them is just being able to assimilate the amount of advice they've gotten here, because there's been a lot of good advice going to them about, you know, taking that first initiative to put yourself in the market, you know, building innovation, doing your finances. So that's a lot of information to assimilate. So that's one of the expectations I'm thinking about. Another thing is now, another expectation I'm having is them being empowered now to go out and do those things themselves. And if they can't do those things themselves, now find people that can help them do those things, which is great when you're building your own business. No one person can do it alone. So those are the main things I'm looking for.
Yeah, I feel like it's very inspiring At least now when you have an idea, you don't just feel like you don't have to think too much about where to get your funding. Now at least you know that there's somebody out there that all I have to do now is just get the idea. Somebody out there really supports me.
So many things actually. You know, sometimes when you come to seminars, you want to learn big things. But I found out that, you know, on getting here, I've been able to pick little things as well. I'm a writer, and through this, in fact, this morning I woke up and I was able to put a few things down, not in their terms, but, you know, some sort of inspiration, sort of, and little things. The other man yesterday said something about taking care of yourself. You know, I learned that these big things are necessary, but then these little things also count, because you can be brilliant, you can be well-dressed, but if you've got body odor or mouth odor, it's going to tell out there. And you know, I used to pay attention, but when he said it yesterday, I thought, and I looked again and I said, well, that's true, you know. So big things, little things all combined together, you know, combining it with ICT. I mean, it's been mind-blowing. Day 2, I can't wait for day 3 and day 4.
I've learned to push myself, you know, the other thing I would say I learned today was majorly the importance of customer relationship, how important it is to know my customers, to actually go for what they want, you know, solve their own problem, not what I think is the problem.
I think it's a welcomed initiative, especially to the youths and specifically to those that are just finishing or starting their NYSC. NYSC is a period of self-discovery. You just came out from school, you're in between coming out from school and going to the full world to either look for a job or to create something. So, like, the feedback we've received is it was motivating. Most of them, it has been able to shape their life on setting goals, on pushing themselves, on what they actually need to do in order to be successful. And most importantly, why entrepreneurship is very important for Nigeria.